Today I am feeling compelled to get my testimony of how I came to God. And it's so long and so involved. And it was truly, and I had an Apostle Paul revelation conversion. I had a Cornelius conversion. I had a conversion very much like in the scriptures where God Himself personally handled my coming to Him in such a way that no one knows it has to go out because it's just so incredible. To God be the glory. And I think I'll probably should start with what led to God taking me so seriously and giving me such amazing experiences with Him, not only with His Spirit, but also in understanding and insights into His Word that nobody else sees but me. And no, that's not really true. Lots of people see this. It's just that you feel like you're out there and alone, but like God said, I have 7,000 that haven't bowed the knee to Baal. So He has lots of people out there like me. I just have never met Eddie. So we'll start with as a young girl. Okay, I'm in my early 20s, and I'm beginning to want to know God. I've already done all the self-help. I've already studied all the religions. I've already come to the place where I realize, God is real. I know He's real because He's been in my heart from the time I was a little girl, born. And I've always communicated with Him and talked to Him. It's just that He never talked back to me that I knew of. And I used to, when I would read the Bible and hear how He talked, God said this and God said that, I used to say, God said, God spoke to you, you heard God talking to you. So that was a big thing for me. I just found that very hard to believe until it happened to me. Well, as a young girl in my 20s, I'm married now, and I have I think I might be pregnant at this time, but I began to want to just talk about God. I would begin to, in all the conversations, I would always try to take it to God. I was not always successful, but I did at least try to get it there. I remember one time my husband and I were invited to go to a hockey game. We were living in Sacramento at the time, California, and we had a group of couples that we hung out with, and so we went as couples to this hockey game. And I sat in the bleachers watching this hockey game, but I really didn't want to watch the hockey game. I wasn't interested in the hockey game. I was only interested in God. So I sat there in the bleachers and I made love to God. That's what I did for the full 2 hour or however long the game lasted. I just sat there and I thought about God, and I told Him how much I loved Him and how wonderful He was, and all that He has done for me, because by then I was beginning to recognize and see His hand in my life. For example, my husband, when he was in Vietnam for a full year, that whole year I prayed and meditated on him being transferred to San Francisco, because that's where we had our honeymoon, and I loved San Francisco. I wanted to go and live, in San Francisco. So I would mentally picture us living in San Francisco when he came home from his year in Vietnam. So, and sure enough, when all the orders came down, and there were like 400 orders that came down, only two got the most prestigious assignments, and my husband was one of them, and it was in Sacramento, California, a 2 hour drive from San Francisco. So that's when I began to perk up and realized, okay, God is in my life. So, all right, so now I'm loving God, but now I don't know where to find Him. I don't know where to find Him. There are so many churches. My goodness, there's Catholic and religions, Christian religions too. So where in the world, it was kind of like, will the real Jesus Christ please stand up? Because I love that musical, Jesus Christ Superstar. I would listen to it over and over and over, the music. And when they got to the part where it would say, Jesus Christ, who are you? What did you sacrifice? I would always stop and I would look up and I would say, yeah, who are you? And what was that all about? What did you sacrifice? So that was a very prominent question in my heart. And I remember the first time we went to see Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie, I cried. I don't know why it affected me, but I cried through the whole thing. And I begged my husband to please, oh, could we please sit through it again? Could we please sit through it again? But no, we're getting out of here. We're getting out of here. Come on, let's go. So I had to get up and leave Jesus Christ Superstar. All right, so that was the beginning of my seeking. I began to seek and seek and seek with all my heart and soul. God, where are you? Who are you? And how do I find you? And I don't want this to go on too long, so I'm going to stop it and pick up in another 5 minutes.